Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Vedanta in the West. Our Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, our Vedas, our Bhagavad Gita, they have given us a very high ideal. The ideal is Sarva Bhute Ishvara Darshana, to see God in everyone. Humanity, animals, plants, everything is sacred. There is nothing that is not permeated by God, isn't it? So now, there is no place where there is no God, whether it is the West or whether it is the East. So if you have the right outlook, if you have the right mindset, எல்லா இடத்துலையும் கனவுல இருக்காரு, isn't it? You can perceive God everywhere. If you don't have the outlook, even in the temple, you will see only the stone. You will see only the image. You will never perceive the divine living presence of God. Am I right? True? So, we must remove from our mind this difference, East, West, our people, other people, my religion, different religion. This difference, this seeing of difference, bheda, must go from our mind. That is the first sign of spiritual progress. If you are seeing difference between people, between situations, black, white, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, man, woman, all these, that means you still have ajnana, ignorance. Ignorance is seeing difference. Jnana is seeing one amidst many. The perception of unity or one consciousness, one divine being in every place, in every being, that is true knowledge. If you read Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna tells about this again and again. As long as you see difference, it is under Maya, avidya. Aham, mama, iti, Maya. I and mine. This is mine, this belongs to me. That does not belong to me, he is different. This is Maya, avidya. To seeing God everywhere, perceiving God everywhere, is vidya, is jnana. So, Vedanta in the West, we have termed, West is a different culture, West is a different set of people, their ideas are different, our ideas are better, supreme, India has a rich culture, India has a rich tradition, West is not good. Therefore, Therefore, we had said going to the West is crossing the black waters, Mlecha Desha. So many atrocities have happened because of this untouchability and the seeing of difference, isn't it? Vedanta says there is one God, but we made so many distinctions. No, one cannot cross the seas. One should not go to the West. We limited ourselves. So India became poor in knowledge, in its economic power because of these limitations. We restricted ourselves. Earlier, thousands of years back, there was so much of exchange between India and Greece and other cultures. But afterwards, somehow, we stopped. This led to India's downfall, actually. So if you remove this distinction from your mind, these differences from your mind, our race is superior. It's ego. Ahankara, Ilya. My race is superior, my culture is superior, my religion is superior. Sri Ramakrishna never liked this idea. If you read the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna did not like this idea that my God is greater than your God or my religion is greater than your God. He said all paths lead to the same goal. There is only one Supreme. You call him by different names. So, this idea we must remove. That's the first point I wanted to make clear. East or West, God is one. Whether the people there wear different clothes or eat different things, it does not matter. That's the local custom. That is not the important factor. The divinity within the person, the individual, the divinity that is there in every individual, that is the core. Not the external observances, not the language they speak. They speak a different language, they wear different clothes, they have different type of food, their practices are different, but that is secondary. Those are only external observances. If you go to the core of the personality, the same divine is there as in any other Indian. India. We should see the divine principle behind. That is how Holy Mother could relate to Nivedita or Josephine MacLeod when they came. She never saw any difference between them. There is Swami Atulananda was there. Gurudas Maharaj. He had seen Swami Vivekananda when Swami Vivekananda went to the West to preach Vedanta. This Atulanandaji, Gurudas, he was from Dutch, Holland origin. He had moved to America and he had the opportunity of seeing Swami Vivekananda giving talks. So later on, he came in the contact of Swami Turiyanandaji in Shanti Ashram in America and was deeply influenced by him, became a brahmachari and then came to India. He was initiated by Holy Mother Sarada Devi. He was an Englishman. He could speak only English and Dutch. Holy Mother did not know even a word of English. I don't know if she ever spoke English. Sri Ramakrishna has spoken quite a few words in English, quite a lot. Whereas Holy Mother, I don't think there is any reference of her speaking English. Not even thank you or yes. Sri Ramakrishna used to speak all these words. So now, this Guru Das had initiation from Holy Mother. So after the initiation, another lady devotee, I think Golakma or Yoginma or somebody, asked this Gurudas Maharaj, how did you understand the instructions of Holy Mother during Diksha? She does not know English, you don't know Bengali, so how did you communicate? How was she communicating with you? He gave a beautiful answer. He said, is there any need for language between the mother and the child? No. The child automatically understands and responds to the love of the mother, isn't it? And the mother also automatically responds to the child's needs. So like that, he said there was no need for any language. I understood everything that the mother told me. This is the perception, or this is the understanding that happens when you can perceive the divinity in the person. Only when you see differences, you say, oh no, his language is different, my language is different, he does not understand my language, I don't understand his language. All these become more prominent. the essence goes. There is another incident in the life of Holy Mother. Holy Mother came to South India. She came to Chennai, and then she went to Bangalore. After Rameshwaram, she came to Bangalore. Holy Mother did not know any of the South Indian languages, Tamil, Kannada, no. So there, when she came to Bangalore, Shashi Maharaj was with her, Raja Maharaj was also there. So she went to the temple. There is a Shiva temple near the Bangalore Ashrama, Basvangudi, Gavi Gangadhareshwara. It's a Shiva temple. So Holy Mother went there to visit the temple in the evening, and then she was coming to the arati in a carriage, horse carriage in those days. So as the carriage came into the campus, the gate, there were many devotees waiting to receive Holy Mother. They were standing on both sides of the road with flowers, petals, and they were putting flowers on the road to receive Holy Mother. So Holy Mother saw these devotees standing on the road. She did not come in the carriage. She got down from there and started walking to the temple, and these people were putting flowers. Holy Mother was very happy. She was full of grace. She was very happy. And she expressed to the attendant, Yoginma or somebody who was there, oh, how nice it would have been if I could speak their language. They would have felt more happy, Holy Mother said. Somebody heard her comment, or it was translated to them. Mother is saying like this, Mother is feeling like this. They said, no, we don't need anything more. We are happy just to see you. There is no need for any language. We are understanding your grace and karuna. There is no need for any language. So this is what I was referring to. Now, these people in the West, whether it is America or South America or Africa or Europe, they all come from a different culture. Basically, a Christian culture. But they have great respect for Indian spiritual culture, Indian tradition. Those who are associated with our Indian culture, they have great respect for Indian culture. And in South America, especially in Brazil, from where I come, most of them have not seen India. Very few of them have seen India. And they have great love and respect for Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sarada Devi, Swamiji, Swami Brahmananda, and our Indian tradition. This is something remarkable to see their love for spiritual culture. They have a Christian culture there. Most of them are Catholics. In Brazil, for example, the population is very small compared to the size of Brazil. Brazil is about 2.5 times bigger in land mass than India. More than 2.5 times big than India. And about or near about 1/3 part of Brazil is covered by Amazon forest and Amazon river. The west part is completely covered by thick Amazon forest, jungle and river. The remaining part, there is a small part which is a desert, dry region, and the rest is cultivable land. The Amazon forest, there are some parts even today where no human being has entered. It's so thick. The wild animals there are not like we have in India. We don't have tigers, we don't have lions in Brazil. We have something similar to the leopard, cheetah, called the jaguar. Okay, so that is almost similar to the leopard. No elephants there. You have only other small animals. So Brazil, the population of Brazil is also very, very less compared to the population of India. India is the largest population today in the world. Yeah? So there the population is hardly 2 250 million, which is so less. India is, I think, 1.5 trillion now, isn't it? So it's very small compared to India, the population. The land mass is huge, population is less. So a lot of opportunities. It's a developing country. There's a lot of opportunities to develop, to become a better country. But the history of Brazil has been very bad. Like India, it was a colony of the Portuguese. Here, it was a British colony. There, the Portuguese occupied Brazil by force. They killed the original aboriginals who were there, the original people. There were two main tribes in Brazil at that time. And the Portuguese entered Brazil in 1500. They came searching for India, but then they landed up in the South African continent, Caribbean islands and all that, and thought this is India. They came to India, called them Indians. They did not know that they are not connected to India. But then afterwards they discovered that it is not India. And the tribal people, they had their own religion, they had their own culture. The Mayan culture was there, Incan culture was there, Inca. You have all those archaeological sites, huge places. They had some worship, they had some religion. But we don't know what was their practice, because these Portuguese, they forced them to get converted to Christianity. Christianity was forced. And those who refused were simply killed. They killed millions of aboriginals. Some of them got converted and continued. So we have a mixed culture there. Most of them have lost the original religion, practices, all that is lost now. Nobody knows. Some of the languages which they used to speak at that time, they are still there in some parts in Amazon and other areas. Some local people speak. It's very limited. And the main language is Portuguese. The Portuguese people forced them to learn Portuguese. So the main language is Portuguese. All the rest of South America was conquered by Spain, Spanish. Okay? So Espanol is spoken in all the other places. The French tried to invade and set this up as a colony, but the French people were defeated by the Portuguese and Spanish together. So they maintained a stronghold, divided South America between themselves. Brazil was given to Portugal, and Spain took over the rest of South America. So that is the history of South America. And then, since the whole land was there, under their control, they started cultivating things and preparing things for the European market. They wanted sugar, so sugarcane cultivation they started. They wanted coffee, so coffee cultivation was started. And they started mines. They discovered gold in Brazil, in Argentina, in Peru, in some places. So they started mines to take the gold to European countries. So they removed all the gold to Portugal, Spain and all that. So this is how they started sugarcane cultivation, coffee cultivation, and they had slaves from Africa. They brought people from Africa to work in the fields. So in Africa, Indians were taken as slaves in many places, Indians were used in Africa as people to work in the sugarcane fields. So the slavery was a very big black mark in America and South America. They were ill-treated, they were brought in ships, chained, treated like animals. All the roads, all the infrastructure in the cities are made by these black people. Even now, we have a huge African population who have settled and become one with the Brazilian population. And they were not given rights for a long time. The slavery was abolished from Brazil in 1888. That was the last country in the world to remove slavery, unfortunately. The international pressure was so much that they had to remove slavery. Otherwise, they would have continued for some more time. So, since all the other people were killed, since the population was less, they allowed people to come and immigrate from other countries. So you have Germans, you have Italians, you have Portuguese, you have Spanish people, you have Japanese. Japanese settlement happened after the World War, when this Hiroshima, Nagasaki bombing and all that happened. So many Japanese came and settled in Brazil. Incidentally, Brazil has the second largest population of Japanese after Japan. Okay? So then you have Lebanese people, and then you have these African people who settled there. So it's a mixed culture, mainly Christian, but the African people, when they came from Africa, they brought their own indigenous religion to Brazil with them. They had their own religious beliefs and practices. They were forced to convert to Christianity, but they secretly practiced their indigenous faiths. And they mixed it a little with Christianity to hide themselves. They started worshipping Mary and Jesus. They called him by different name, but it was the image of Jesus. They used to see their gods in Jesus and Mary and all that. So they hid their own faiths by showing Christianity. So those practices are still there. Umbanda, Kandumle, they are all African origin faiths. Then you have another important thing, the spiritists. Those who invoke mediums and then talk to spirits and all that, like the theosophists. That is a big movement there, spiritist movement. So they have a lot of belief in that. That is also again of African origin. So this is the situation there. In the total population, around 82% is Christian. Catholics, Protestants, Evangelists, all the other denominations, all put together about 82% Christian population. So plenty of churches are there. Like you have temples here. On every road you will find a church. Beautiful, big churches are there. Beautiful churches. Some small. And the people go to the church, unlike in America or Europe. Nobody goes to the church in America and Europe. They are coming up for sale. Whereas here in Brazil, people go to the church. They are practically full on Sundays for the Mass. And you have almost every day one new church being inaugurated somewhere in Brazil. Christianity is a practiced religion. They have deep faith in Christ, in Christian religion, but they don't like the theology of Christianity, the way Christ is projected, especially the younger generation. They are against some of the ideas which the church teaches, like the concept of sin, that you are a born sinner. And these very strict moral codes that the church has, they don't like, they don't accept. So the younger generation protests against the church. The older generation has accepted it. They are loyal to the church. So there's a lot of change happening. And those who are not satisfied with the church and the Christian theology, they search for other areas, religions. So Vedanta is very popular. Why Vedanta became popular? You see, the effect of Swami Vivekananda's popularity in America when he gave the Chicago Parliament of Religions talk in 1893, those lectures and his popularity in America was widely reported in Argentina and Brazil in the newspapers in those times. So people used to read about Swamiji, about his ideas. They liked the universal ideas of Swamiji, of Vedanta. So groups started in Argentina and in Brazil to read Vedanta and Swami Vivekananda. That is how Vedanta entered South America. Swamiji did not come to South America. Swami Vivekananda never came to South America. He came only up to south of North America. He reached up to Houston or a little above. After that, no, he didn't come down. So now, actually, Houston also, he only traveled through Houston. He did not get down there in Houston. The train in those days used to go like that. So Swamiji never came, but his ideas were so popular. There was one organization, one group which came up. It was an evangelical group, Christian organization, but they were for progressive change in Christianity. They wanted to modify the ideas in Christianity by incorporating the best practices from different religions, different cultures. So they wanted Vedanta ideas in their practice. So they formed an organization and had 5 patrons or models to emulate. Swami Vivekananda was one of the idol that they chose, model that they chose. I have gone to their place where they used to have lectures in Sao Paulo. They used to have lectures on the wall. I was surprised to see Swami Vivekananda's, they have a small image with all the other leaders from the world they chose. And they published books, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, and all these 4 yogas of Swami Vivekananda, they had translated into Portuguese, Spanish, and they used to have regular classes to discuss all these yogas and Vedanta. So that was the first movement that started. So ideas of Swami Vivekananda were discussed in Argentina and Brazil. And this group in Argentina, they wrote a letter to Prabuddha Bharata in 1930. They wrote a letter to Prabuddha Bharata to address to the president of the Ramakrishna order, requesting for somebody to teach them Vedanta, requesting for a monk to be sent there to teach Vedanta. So now Mahapurush Maharaj, Swami Shivanandaji was the president of the Ramakrishna order at that time. So he took interest. The letter from Prabuddha Bharata was sent to Belur Math, and Mahapurush Maharaj read it, and he took a kind interest. It took some time for him to decide, whom to send and what to. Brazil was so far away. Looking at the delay, one group of students from Argentina went to Belur Math in 1932 to put pressure on Swami on Swami Shivanandaji to send the Swami. They went all the way from Brazil. In those days, it has to be by ship. They went by ship, a group of students, to Belur Math to meet Swami Shivanandaji and personally request him for a Swami. So Swami Shivanandaji gave them an audience, and he posted Swami Vijayanandaji, who was called Pashupati Maharaj, to Argentina as the representative of the Ramakrishna order and to preach Vedanta. Swami Vijayanandaji was a disciple of Swami Brahmanandaji. He was a highly qualified engineer, chemical engineer. So he came to Argentina in 1932, late part of 1932, traveling by ship, and settled there, learned Spanish, and he was a very powerful speaker, quite popular. And after about 20 years, he started coming to Brazil every year for 1 month or 2 months, and then he used to give talks on Vedanta, which was very popular, and the group in Brazil also became solid. So that is how Brazil started adapting to Vedanta. And now we have 5 centers of Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta in Brazil. There was only one group in Rio at that time. So now we have 5 centers, Rio, Sao Paulo, then we have one in Curitiba. Rio is on the front near Atlantic Ocean. You have the entire Atlantic Ocean there. We're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. It's one of the most popular beautiful cities in the world, most popular among the tourists, Rio de Janeiro. I will tell you about Rio later on. So Sao Paulo is like the financial capital, like Mumbai. It is a little away from Rio, around 300 kilometers, like Chennai, Bangalore distance. So it's across the hill. You have to climb across the hill. There is no ocean there, about 30 kilometers to the sea from there. So Sao Paulo is also a very popular area for business, for all the banks, head offices and all that. Financial capital. Then we have one more center further down on the border with Argentina. That's called Curitiba. It's on the hill, top of a hill, like our Ooty. It's very cold. Sometimes there is snowfall. And it's a beautiful center. There you have more German settlements. More German people have settled there. In Rio, it's a mixed population. Sao Paulo also, it's a mixed population. You have Lebanese, you have Italian, you have all types of people. In Rio also, you have all types of people. Chinese also are there now. So you have different groups. Then we have Rio was the capital of Brazil for a long time. Around 62 years back, the capital was shifted from Rio to central Brazil, another new city, a planned city, which was built to make a capital. The roads and everything were planned. So that is called Brasilia. That's in the central Brazil. Because Rio was very close to the sea, they were afraid of foreign attack. The French tried and all that, so they wanted to shift the capital to the central part in order to provide safety. So Brasilia is the capital. We have a beautiful center there in Brasilia. And then there is another center in Belo Horizonte. That is the place where those gold mines were discovered. Gold and precious stones. It's a very popular place for mining. So we have 5 centers. 3 centers independent. Sao Paulo, Rio, and Curitiba. They are independent centers. These 2 other centers, Brasilia and Belo Horizonte, are sub-centers of Sao Paulo center. We don't have Indian devotees there. All Brazilian devotees only. So the Brazilian devotees, as I said, are mixed culture. We have people of black origin also come for our lectures, who are from African origin. They come, they sing, they participate in all our programs. Then we have all the other groups. It's a mixed group, no distinction at all. Everybody sits, everybody is equal there. So only Brazilian devotees, though we have some 20 families, I think very limited number of Indians in Rio. I know them, I have contact with them, but they don't come. Maybe once in a year they come for Durga Puja or something like that. Otherwise, no. When I send them invitation, yes, they come and then just go and then that's all. But the Brazilian devotees are very, very regular. They take care of the ashram, support the ashram, do everything. So they are extremely devoted people. So this is about the movement there. And regularly we have people more on Saturday, Sunday, weekend. They are free only on weekends. Their husband also works, wife also works, and it's difficult for them to come to the ashrama. So on weekends, on Saturdays, we have classes on Vedic mantras, all these Saharabhauto, Upanishads. They have learnt it so beautifully, they chant with me wonderfully. We read the mantra, we chant the mantra and the meaning in Portuguese language. They read the meaning in turns. So they are very interested in that. And then we have a guided meditation class on every Saturday. They want to learn about meditation, so we have a guided meditation class. So, and then followed by arati. They sing our Khandana, Om Hrim Ritam, Sarvamangala Mangalya, Prakritim Paramam. Many of our songs, Bhavatarana Sagara, Achandala, all these they sing perfectly. Shokali Tomar Ichha, Bengali songs, Dubu Dubu Du, they sing all these songs. So now, They have so many songs in Portuguese also, beautiful songs on Sri Ramakrishna, on Holy Mother in Portuguese, beautiful songs. And for the Saturday class, meditation and chanting class, we get around 15 to 20 Brazilian devotees. And on Sunday, I take classes on Vedanta, Yoga Sutras, or Bhagavad Gita. Now I am taking a class on Patanjali's Yoga Sutras for more than 1 year. So for this, we have around 35 to 40 Brazilians coming, regular. Sometimes it goes up or a little down. And when we have special pujas or celebrations like Sri Ramakrishna Jayanti, Holy Mother Jayanti, Swamiji's Jayanti, we combine Swamiji's Jayanti with Brahmanandaji Jayanti because Brahmanandaji is very popular there. Vijayanandaji was Brahmanandaji's disciple, so they know a lot about Brahmanandaji and respect him very much. So we have Brahmanandaji Jayanti with Swamiji Jayanti, we have Guru Purnima, we celebrate Ashtami or Navami, Durga Puja, and Christmas Eve. These are the programs now. It's just starting. The center is starting now. So for these programs, the devotees prepare food and come. Vegetarian food. From each house, they prepare something and come. They discuss among themselves. Somebody prepares something, rice item. Somebody prepares some other item. Okay? So mainly salads. They eat a lot of salads. Healthy food. So they prepare all that and they bring. And we offer everything after the puja to Sri Ramakrishna, and that is distributed as prasad. That is how. Only when the number suddenly is big or the food that they have brought is less, we prepare something in the ashram. Otherwise, whatever they bring is more than enough. So for these programs, sometimes we have from 65 to 80, 100 people, Brazilians. So this is the broad idea about our center in Rio de Janeiro. Now Rio is a very popular tourist spot because of the natural beauty. It is located on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. So you have 5 famous beaches. Here you have only one marina. There you have 5 beaches, huge beaches. Some of the longest beach in the world we have in Rio. Okay? And the beaches are absolutely clean. எதுவுமே கிடைக்காது, ஒரு பேப்பர் பீஸ் கிடைக்காது அந்த பீச்சில், அவ்வளோ க்ளீனாக இருக்கும். சரியா? அந்த sea is also very good, beautiful. Sky is always blue. Pollution கிடைக்காது, எதுவுமே pollution கிடைக்காது அங்கே. அவ்வளோ clean, pure air and beautiful. You have mountains in the city, big mountains. So all the mountains you can go trekking. Mountaineering இருக்கு, trekking இருக்கு, forest இருக்கு, இந்த city உள்ள forest இருக்கு. Actually there was a coffee estate ரொம்ப முன்னாடி. Some time what happened, there was a virus attack and all the coffee plants died long back during the time of the first emperor Pedro. So he took a bold decision. He got all the dead plants removed. He brought different plants from different parts of Brazil and created a natural forest in that area. He got them planted and allowed them to grow in a natural way. So you have a beautiful natural forest covering the entire hill in the center of the city, where you can go for walks, you can trek, you have waterfalls. It's so beautiful. So it's one of the most beautiful cities. And of course, attractions are there. Christ the Redeemer, you must have heard. So there's a big statue of Christ with his hands like this. It is actually a beautiful statue made by devotees, Christians, Catholic Christians, on the top of the highest hill in Rio. You can see that hill from anywhere in Rio. You can just see the Christ standing there. It's a huge statue, and the devotees went and worked for years, I think 5 years if I'm right. Small tiles, okay? They fixed small tiles on this huge statue made of cement. They stuck it with cement, small statues, small tile pieces. It's like a collage, work of so many people. And it's a beautiful statue, Christ. So millions, thousands of people go to see that Christ the Redeemer. There's a small church also below, and it's a tourist spot. Now they have a Swiss company which has made a rail to reach the top. It's very expensive, but you can go by car or by the train, and it's a beautiful spot. You can get a beautiful view of the entire city and the beach and the ocean from there. So all these attractions are there. And then there is another mountain called Sugar Loaf. It's another mountain. What they have done, they have made a ropeway to go to the Sugarloaf mountain. So you can go there and then trek and then eat, and have beautiful restaurants are there, and the view is beautiful. So they have given a lot of importance to tourist development. India has much more, but we have neglected this aspect. Now I think things are improving, but they have banked on tourism. Tourism is the biggest industry in Rio. So restaurants, hotels, all these are there. So this much about Brazil. Now about Swami Vivekanandaji Maharaj, Raja Maharaj's disciple, Pashupati Maharaj. He was a very powerful spiritual person. He was a sevak of Mahapurush Maharaj. Raja Maharaj had blessed him with some special powers. He had special spiritual powers. And serving Mahapurush Maharaj, he must have had a great spiritual blessing. He had seen many direct disciples like Swami Subodhanji, Swami Turiyananji, Latu Maharaj. He had contact with all of them. So he was a very powerful spiritual teacher, highly respected there. So the influence of Vedanta in South America mainly started with Swami Vivekananda and was continued by Swami Vivekanandaji Maharaj when he went there. He was a very good speaker. He used to speak on different aspects of Vedanta, which was very popular. In those days, there was no recording system available, so we don't have his records. He passed away in 1973. And then he was followed by one Swami Paratparanandaji. Paratparanji unfortunately had to come back to India. And another Swami, Swami Pareshanandaji, he was sent to Argentina. He is still there in Buenos Aires. He is the head of Buenos Aires Center. He is around 81 years old now. And to Brazil, another Swami was sent in 1999. He is from Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur. Swami Atmajnanandaji, who was in Belur Math Mission Office, Krishnamurti Maharaj. Many of you, I think, have seen him. So he was the head of Brazil. He started staying in Sao Paulo. There were centers in Rio, Sao Paulo, groups, as I told you. He chose to stay in Sao Paulo. The group was more organized. He stayed there. And it is 25 years now. He is there. He speaks in Portuguese and all that. He is also very popular. So when Krishnamurti Maharaj was sent there, they divided Argentina and Brazil. They separated these two places. So this is about our work in Brazil. The work in Western countries, most of our Western centers, is mainly spiritual and cultural. We don't engage actively in service activities like starting a hospital or a school. We don't do it in the West because Christian missionaries do it on a very big scale. So many Christian hospitals are there, Christian schools are there, and there is no need for us to do the same thing again and create problems. Only in, I think, Singapore and these areas we have, but not in the West. None of our Western centers have this. We have spiritual retreats, we conduct spiritual retreats or yoga camps, all these things we do. And some amount of help we do, distribution of food items, all these things occasionally we do. helping the poor, these things go on. But main activity is spiritual and cultural. Conducting classes, spreading Vedanta, spreading the universal message of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita. That is the main focus in all our Western centers. And in America, as you all know, most of our centers, it is the Indian community who have settled there who come. Very few Americans go to our centers. In some centers, yes. But mainly, it's the Indian community. It's so big. The Indian community there is huge in America. Even in Europe. Whereas in South America, we don't have Indian community. Brazilians come and they love Sri Ramakrishna. Now about Swami Vivekananda, there are some beautiful incidents connected to his spiritual genius. Apart from that, there are two important incidents that happened in Brazil. There was one person, one day in our Sao Paulo center, in the evening by around 5 o'clock, two people entered Sao Paulo ashrama. In Sao Paulo ashrama, as soon as you enter, there is a room, the veranda, where people can sit and wait for the Swami. And on the wall, there is a big picture of Holy Mother, Sarada Devi. The usual picture of Holy Mother, Sarada Devi, a big picture is there. So as soon as these two people entered, one of the person stood in front of the picture of Holy Mother, was looking at the picture and started crying. He became emotional. So he started crying, shedding tears. So the Swami asked, "Why are you crying? What happened? Why have you become emotional? Please sit down and tell us why you are crying." So after he controlled his emotions, he said, I was searching for her. Only today, after so many years, I found her picture and she saved my life. So the Swami asked for more details. Please tell what happened. He said this man was around 75-80 when he came to the center, 75-80 years old, an old man. So he said when he was a small boy, his parents stayed in Egypt, Cairo. Okay? He was a small boy and his parents were working there, and as a small boy he got infected by typhoid. In those days there was no antibiotics. So typhoid was incurable at that time. Anybody who gets infected by typhoid was just left to die, isolated and thinking they will die. So this boy, when he developed typhoid and high fever, his mother made him sleep in a room, separate room, and to prevent the infection from spreading to other people in the family, she told him, "My child, there is no other hope, there is no medicine for this disease. So only thing that you can do is pray. Pray to God for help." And she kept a small image of Mother Mary on the table in front of his bed. It was a small image of Mary in a glass box. Okay? She said, "This is the mother here, you please pray to Mother." Left it there. So this boy, small boy, around 8 years old boy, he was looking at the image and praying to Mother. Why have I become sick? He does not understand, so he started praying with a simple heart to Mother, "Please save me," like that. And suddenly he found one figure coming out of that image, dressed in white clothes. He did not know from where she was. He could not recognize who she is. She was looking different from their culture. She came and then came near this boy, touched his head and put something in his mouth and said, "Don't worry, you will become all right. You will become fine." So now this boy, after that, from the next day onwards, he started becoming better. His fever went. He completely recovered, became normal, got educated and everything. Then his parents moved from Egypt to Brazil. settled in Sao Paulo. This boy continued his education, got a job, became married, had children, all that. But he did not know who that lady was, and in his mind always that image of mother was there. He was searching to find somewhere some information about this lady, and nowhere he could get. Who will give information about Sarada Devi in Brazil? So he did not know. He was going on looking, going here, there, searching for information about this lady. And when he came to our center, in that old age, he looked at this picture and started crying. He said, she saved me when I was a child. So he was a Jew. You see, Holy Mother went and saved a Jew boy. And this man is no more now. He passed away when our revered Smarananandaji Maharaj, who was the president here before. Smarananandaji Maharaj visited Brazil in 2000. 2000, this man was sick. He was almost on his deathbed. So revered Maharaj went to his house to see him and talk to him during just after 2 days he passed away. So Maharaj went to his house, Maharaj met him. So this is one interesting, wonderful incident, how Holy Mother blessed him. Another beautiful incident is there was one person, he was a reporter, journalist, Arlindo. This man was from that central Brazil area, Belo Horizonte, that mining area. He was a reporter, young boy. One day in the morning, he took his bath. There was a small swimming pool out of his house. He took his bath and was sitting there and then having a sun bath or something. Suddenly, he found somebody coming up from the water in the swimming pool. He was surprised. It was a vision. So he did not know who this person was. Very bright, dressed in robes, ochre color. He did not know what is this color. And then that person who came, that Swami who came from the waters, he said, why don't you do some service? Why don't you help poor people with whatever you know by educating them? Mathematics, whatever you know, teach them. There are so many poor people around you, teach them. This man said, why is this man coming and telling me, why is he coming and giving me instruction to teach or do service? He was a Christian. Then he had doubts whether it was a hallucination, whether he was imagining something. Then he had a spiritist master. I told you there are spiritists there, who have contact with mediums and all that. So he knew one spiritist. He went to that person and told him what happened and said, please find out if this is true. Do I have to obey these instructions? What is this? So that person did some ritual, closed his eyes, meditated, probably contacted somebody, and then said, yes, this is something important. This will be good for you. You must do this. Then he came back and then collected some 3 or 4 poor children from around his house and started teaching them in his house. Every day in the evening, he started giving them some education. So after 3-4 days, again he had the vision of this monk. Suddenly he came and said, I am happy you're doing this, following my instructions, but I want you to do it in a bigger scale. I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied with this small work that you're doing. Just 3-4 boys from near your house. No, you must think big. Now this man again had doubt. Why is he coming and telling me all this? How can I do all this? So he went again to his master. And the master said, yes, you have to follow these instructions. You can do it. He will give you the strength. So now he again contacted his friends, and then slowly he collected some 5 friends. They formed a group and then purchased a land just outside the city, Belo Horizonte. The name of the place is Beting, Beting. Okay? And they purchased a plot of land and started an institution. They named it Missão Ramakrishna Mission. In Portuguese. In those days, they started this institution. They did not know about Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna, nothing. They did not know about Ramakrishna. I'll tell you how he came to know about Ramakrishna. So later on, he started a hostel for boys, for girls, started giving them education, started teaching them so many things. It's a huge, huge institution now. I have gone there 2 times. So, the institution became popular, the number of students increased, 100, 200, like that. I think it's time, no? For arati. Close one. So, that was Swami Brahmanandaji, who came to give him these ideas. Later on, when the hostel became popular, there was no water in that area, it was dry area. So the government wanted to close the institution because there was no water. And then Brahmanji came again and told him, see, you dig a borewell in this spot. He showed his place and said, go here, you will get water. He started, dug it. They found a big stone. They thought there is some mistake. Why Brahmanji came and gave a wrong advice? So again Brahmanji came and said, no, go down. Below the stone you will find good sweet water. So then they dug and found excellent water. It's a huge institution. Now it is called Institution de Ramakrishna. Institution of Ramakrishna. One of his friends sent the biography of Sri Ramakrishna later on, much later. And in that he found the name of Sri Ramakrishna and a picture of Swami Brahmananda. Immediately he recognized that it was Brahmananda who was coming to him 4 times, giving him instructions. So in the temple they have a big picture of Sri Ramakrishna, Jesus, Buddha, Swamiji. It's a big institution. They teach the students music, carpentry, printing, automobile engineering, everything, anything under the sun. It's huge. Thousands of students study now. It's free education, free food, free education. So this is how Sri Ramakrishna works. This is how Holy Mother, Swamiji work, isn't it? If you think they are our exclusive property, they love only Indians, no, they love the West more. Ilya. So there is a beautiful incident in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. You will find this. One day, Sri Ramakrishna was sleeping in his room. He was in Samadhi on his bed in Dakshineshwar. It was time for lunch, food. Holy Mother, accompanied by Lakshmi Didi, she brought the food to his room to serve lunch to Sri Ramakrishna. She kept everything on the table there, and there was a small stool. She kept it there and called Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was in Samadhi. There was no response. She called 2 times, 3 times, no response. Then she went near him, started pressing his feet, calling him. There was no response. So Holy Mother became anxious. Oh, maybe he has passed away in Samadhi. Body was cold. He was in Samadhi. No breathing, no sign of life. She became anxious. Maybe Sri Ramakrishna has given up his body. She started crying loudly. Then Rakhal and Naren and other boys were there. They immediately came inside. My mother is crying. They came inside and Holy Mother said, you see, I'm afraid he has left his body. So they started pressing his feet and crying and shouting. And Rakhal went and repeated the name of the Lord in his ears. And slowly Sri Ramakrishna came back to normal consciousness. He came back to normal consciousness and said, why are you creating so much commotion? Why are you shouting? Why are you making so much noise? I was in a very far away land. Just listen to these words of Sri Ramakrishna. He says, I was in a very far away land. They were all white people serving me with great love and affection, respect. Their hearts were white and pure. Because of you people calling me, I had to come away from them. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.